Adam Kucharski begins his exploration by taking us back to antiquity, when Euclid and his contemporaries sought indisputable truths through geometry. These early thinkers believed that certainty lay in clear axioms and logical deduction. Kucharski paints a vibrant picture of that world, breathing life into dusty premises and abstract principles. But even as he honors their ambition, he reminds us that these foundations were fragile, built for a simpler world. The narrative transitions toward the evolution of calculus, the mathematical force that could describe motion, change, and the foundational laws of physics. Yet Kucharski is careful to highlight that even this powerful tool falters under scrutiny. Calculus, though elegant, relies on infinitesimal leaps and assumptions that crumble when taken too literally. Our concepts of proof, he suggests, must adapt. He moves into the crucible of modern science, where proof is no longer absolute. Here, statistical methods and hypothesis testing reign, and with them, awkward thresholds and chance results. Kucharski spotlights Ronald Fisher's infamous p-value cutoff of 0.05, a seemingly arbitrary barrier that elevated scientific rigor and simultaneously introduced room for manipulation. This is precision built on shifting sands. To tether these ideas to human life, Kucharski weaves in Lincoln's use of Euclidean logic in the courtroom. Lincoln trained himself in geometry not for its own sake, but to wield precision in a debate over slavery. This historical interlude underlines a central theme, that our systems of proof have always been molded to fit moral and political purpose. Kucharski's prose then steps into the world of tea, an unassuming gateway to understanding controlled experiments. In a quaint setting at Rothamsted, Muriel Bristol proved that milk first tastes different using randomized blind tasting. Beyond servings of tea, this tale reveals the power of experimental design in disentangling real patterns from coincidence. It's a charming entry point into rock-solid thinking. The story deepens as the author shifts to the tragedy and chaos of pandemics. His own experience in epidemiology during COVID-19 becomes a canvas for illustrating the urgency and difficulty of proof under pressure. Data arriving in fragments, models shifting with new viruses, and public anxieties, all these pressures expose the limits of certainty even in science. He guides readers through the pandemic's fog of evidence, explaining why early signals about airborne transmission or vaccine efficacy were oscillatory and uncertain. At each stage, mistakes could be made, but that didn't mean evidence was worthless, just incomplete. Kucharski's own voice, steady, humane, thoughtful, walks us through each step. Then the narrative broadens to the legal system, where proof carries moral weight. By comparing the standards for scientific proof to legal proof, he shows how each domain balances evidence against doubt. One requires, beyond reasonable doubt, the other tolerates misfires in pursuit of discovery. We learn that both contexts reflect different tolerances for uncertainty. A cultural interlude pitches the complexities of proof in everyday life and information. With fake news proliferating, we look again at confirmation bias and skeptics who reject everything or accept anything. Kucharski warns of our temptation to switch between extremes, blind trust and blanket doubt, and urges a thoughtful middle path. Following this comes a meditation on AI and computer-assisted proof. The story takes a turn. Mathematicians once scorned computer-driven proofs of the four-color theorem, but now AI challenges what it means to know something. Kucharski frames a key question: if a computer finds a truth we can't verify by hand, do we still trust it? The unfolding scene here shows modern dilemmas, algorithms that work but don't explain. In medicine and finance, we let systems serve us while resisting their opaque nature. This tension between performance and explainability underscores the modern stakes of evidence. Next, Kucharski plants the narrative amid everyday decisions. Buying food, trusting public health guidance, navigating news. Each moment picks from the buffet of uncertainty. He equips us with frameworks, Bayesian updates, statistical significance, error bars, that become mental tools. These concepts are presented not as dry abstractions but as companions in daily life. A reflective chapter then invites philosophical questioning. What is truth, really? When we accept uncertainty, are we yielding to chaos, or embracing nuance? He draws on Poincaré and others to show that doubt isn't weakness, it's intellectual discipline. The truth may recede, but our methods can approach it responsibly. Kucharski brings the narrative to realism by addressing what happens when evidence fails. Public trust erodes, conspiracies flourish, polarization goes unchecked. Yet he refuses cynicism. Instead, he calls for institutional reform. Clearer communication, transparency about uncertainty, humility from experts, and engagement with society. His concluding arc is both hopeful and practical: maintain openness, question your data, embrace uncertainty as part of the human condition. Proof might never be absolute, but in the interplay of evidence, discourse, and humility, we can carve out trust and progress. Finally, the book leaves us with a challenge: to rethink our quest for certainty. Kucharski gives no false comfort of final answers. Instead, he arms us with understanding of how proof evolves, how to handle evidence, and how to live with uncertainty. It's an invitation to stay curious, skeptical, and engaged, determined not by absolutes but by method and integrity.